Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. Just a very short video, this one. As you can see, it's a little bit cold down in the METZ dungeon this morning, so I've got my hoodie on, which is keeping me nice and toasty. But anyway, just a quick one, guys. There's been quite a few people in the community that have asked me about my Moza R9 settings and false feedback settings that I use for Automobilista 2. So this is the quick video showing you what I use. I'm not going to explain what the sliders are, why the sliders are like they are. It's just what works for me. What necessarily works for me might not work for you, so you might want to turn false feedback down or up or change the damping settings, but these are what work for me and what I've been using since probably about 6 months now. I've tried custom false feedback files, and some of them are great, some of them are not so great. But I do find that the default false feedback in Automobilista 2 is absolutely fantastic. I feel like I get much more information from the default false feedback settings. So before you start experimenting with custom false feedback, just play around with the default false feedback. Not even default plus. Default false feedback, I think, is absolutely fantastic in pretty much every car. Okay, guys, so let's get over to AMS2 first. Let me just show you my in-game settings. Come out of here. Right, into options, controls, false feedback. These are my in-game settings. So default, as I've explained already, the gain 65, 0 low false boost, 25 FX, and 5 damping, and the menu spring strength. I don't know why that's on 3, actually. I thought it was on 0, but 0 you don't need anything like that. But that's basically my in-game settings. Now you can I would leave these as your default false feedback settings, and then just change your gain per car. So what I would suggest you do to do that is go to edit assignments, go to, I think it's vehicle, scroll down. Yeah, just map 2 buttons to increase the gain and decrease the gain. So when you're in game, if you feel like the false feedback is a little bit too light, if you map these buttons, you can do it on the fly rather than coming out and increasing the gain. But I tend to leave the gain at 65 and then adjust per car using the increase or decrease FFB gain. So that's a good tip that I would definitely recommend. You map 2 buttons so you can do it on the fly. Right, and then let's just bring up my Moza settings. Right, I won't be on camera for this one because I don't want the camera to obscure or impede anything that you see. So these are my basic settings. Now, I do adjust the in-car gain depending on which wheel I've got. If I'm using the CS wheel, which is a little bit heavier than my FSR wheel, then I leave the settings as they are, but I just adjust the in-car FFB because it's a little bit lighter, it becomes a little bit heavier. Or if I'm in a high downforce car like the you know, any of the Formula 1 cars, I might increase it a little bit just so I can get that feel. So these are my basic settings. I'll just leave that on the screen just for you so you can pause, copy or whatever. Like I say, I'm not going to explain what the sliders do or why the sliders are the way they are. I've played around with Pit House and stuff endlessly to tinker and try and get the settings that I want or how I want the car to feel. And these are what work for me. Advanced settings. Again, not going to explain the sliders, why they are. You might want to increase the inertia a little bit or the damping or the speed. I don't like the speed dependent damping. I don't like that very much. So that's why this is so high that it won't, the start point won't come into effect until it reaches 300 Ks, and you very rarely go above 300 Ks. But yeah, these are what work for me. This is my equalizer. It's pretty standard. I think the I think you can play with these, but these are what work for me. And the biggest change really is just the FFB curve, which is slightly different. Now this one here, this will stop your oscillation, depending on how heavy your force feedback is. If you have a linear curve, this bit here, or this would be here, and I do find that you get quite a lot of oscillation, and I don't really want any kind of oscillation. You might get a little bit if you take your hands off, but for the most part, this kind of eliminates any oscillation with the Moza R9 wheel. And that's pretty much it, guys. So what we'll do, if we come out of here and we'll just go to race menu, set up test day, just on Monza. I like Monza because obviously it's got nice long straight, so you can test whether you're getting any oscillation down the straight. But I also want to feel the road surface. I actually want to feel it underneath the car. But so you can't, if it's too high, or if you haven't adjusted that curve, you will get quite a lot of oscillation down the straights. But as you can see, guys, there's no wild moving left to right. I've got my hands completely off the wheel. As you like, the wheel will move, but that is purely the road surface. I can feel the road surface beneath me. I'm not well, nearly overshot. I'm not putting any inputs on the wheel at all. The wheel moving is purely the road surface. It's not oscillating at all. It's a really nice feel. I can feel the tyre loading up on the left hand side there as we're going around. I think it's is it Curva Grande? Over the curb, lovely. It's not a mechanical feel. Sometimes I notice with the force feedback, if you have it too high, or you haven't got enough damping or inertia or anything like that, it feels very mechanical going over the curbs. With these settings, or with the settings that I feel going over there, it just feels completely natural. You know, again, take my hand off the wheel. Look, there's no inputs there. That's purely the road surface. Getting over these curbs and the sausage curbs there. It's not a harsh feeling. It's just how I would imagine rubber going over bumps would be. The reason I like Monza is because there's enough road detail that I can dial in exactly how I want it to feel through the wheel and through the base shaker. I haven't got a butt kicker. I've just got a Dayton audio puck with just a cheap little amp, like a knob sound amp. It's pretty much all I use. Just one that's under the seat, but again, feel the road. And you know, on days where my shoulders are a little bit achy, I'll just I might just turn the force feed. Oh, I've actually changed camera view there. I might change the force feedback in car, just turn it down a bit. But even though you turn it down, you still get all of that detail because you've got your base settings already set up. So even just turning it down, I can feel just as much detail. Oh, I feel the tyres loading up, absolutely lovely. And also, guys, there has been an update on the tyre physics. So I personally think that the Gen 2 GT3s were a little bit too grippy, and I feel like this is probably more in line. I'm pretty sure that these have been adjusted. It does feel different, but like in a good way. So again, you can see the wheel moving. I'm not putting the inputs there. That's purely the road. So there you go, guys. That's pretty much my my settings that I've been using for sort of the last 6 months or so. I do tweak them, you know, when there's an update. Like I've tweaked them a little bit this morning. But yeah, I think it feels absolutely fine, the default force feedback. I think since 1.5 came out, like, or even 1.48, I think was the first time that I really sort of dived into the force feedback to get it feeling how I wanted it. But yeah, I think the default force feedback that Razer have got in game is absolutely fine. Again, we just move, you know, that the wheel moving there, that is purely the road surface. Give them a go, guys. If they work for you, let me know in the comments. If they don't work for you, let me know in the comments and what you've done. I think you know, we share information, and you know, we get the best feeling force feedback we can from our Moza wheelbases. I mean, this is tested on a Moza R9, but I imagine like a lot of the like some of the videos that I've done, they pretty much work for all wheelbases in the Moza ecosystem, and likely very similar wheelbases, you know, with similar software and stuff. I see no reason why it wouldn't work for other wheelbases. There you go, guys. That's it. Hope it works for you. If you like this, please give us a thumbs up, or if you like this kind of content and you want to see more, let me know in the comments, and perhaps consider subscribing to the channel. All right, guys, you take care. I'll see you on track very soon. Bye bye.